Good. How are you guys?
Good.
Man,
Good.
it's I don't know where this is going to go. I know we've been talking back and forth a little bit.
Yeah.
My feelings on the scenario have been made pretty clear.
I hope you're excited about Shemar.
I think
Hey,
everybody's.
this is how it works.
Yeah,
This is how it works. If I bitch about a draft pick or a contract or whatever's happening,
Yeah,
it all
people
goes
just
away
forget,
because
right?
they have
Yeah.
stripes on their helmet. They're my guy.
Gotcha.
But I got to be honest. This feels like maybe one of the dumbest holdouts of all time.
Basically,
yeah, you had a question, Ron. Go ahead.
You're good. Basically, what we want to do here, I mean, everybody has seen this thing get reported, misreported, misrepresented. We've seen multiple sides to what has turned into a pretty chaotic story. And we wanted to have you on here. We want you to talk your piece, talk your side, make us and our listeners understand what went into this. And then we'll talk back and forth about it. So go ahead when you're ready.
Yeah, I mean, ask your questions. I mean, I hope you guys are excited for Shemar. You got an absolute superstar. Like, this guy's going to dominate the league. It was just business. That's it. Like, I think you guys forget that it's business, right? Like, yeah, it's football, but it's also business. And, you got to handle your business before you can go and do what you got to do on the football field. So I think, you're coming from, you're only looking through one lens is what I would say. So if you see it from both sides, then you can understand that it's, everything was just business.
So I see it from both sides, but this is language that has been reported in many, many rookie contracts that we've seen this year. So what's the difference between his and
100%.
Abdul Carter's, Gray Zabel's, Walter Nolan's?
Nothing.
What's the difference there?
Nothing except for the fact that the language was not in Bengals contracts previously. So therefore, right, if you want to make a change, like in any type of negotiation, right? Okay, you're welcome to, offer something up. And that is just called business. That's it. That's all. That's what it comes down to.
So the issue at the end of the day that you had, and I don't want to speak for Shemar, but I assume he had, was that he was the first. Was that truly, in your guys' eyes, was that truly that big of a deal with what the language was in the contract? Because I got to say, right, from our standpoint, from our lens, maybe you think we're looking at it from one lens. We truly like to think we take a rounded positions on things. We did not see a big deal. We didn't see a big deal, right? Somebody had to be the first. It's happened to be him.
Wait. You don't see a big deal because you're only looking at it from one side. You're saying because you should just go play football and forget about it, right? But that's not fair. That's not fair at all. Why? If you're going to ask something of me that you've never asked anybody else, is there something in return that you're going to do for me? That's just good business. That's simply it. And now, of course, you can say, no, we're not going to do anything. But, some people, again, right? It's however you want to handle your business.
Okay.
So when we get to the point where like the $500,000 moves up from December to now, that gets it done. Okay, but why is it?
That's because your guy wanted to get on the football field. That's all he wanted to do was be on that football field. That's it.
But then why wasn't?
Why not sign the practice agreement like Demetrius Knight did and still get to work while your contract's being negotiated?
Well, truthfully, Demetrius Knight did not sign his practice participation agreement the first day. He actually signed it the next day, right? So
one day.
Let's get all our facts straight, okay? Right. So again,
it's not a misrepresentation to miss it by one day.
He signed it, but the first day. So the first day he didn't, right? So clearly there was something that he, also, right, might not have, been okay with. Now, of course, from your fan-only perspective, you believe just, disregard everything from a business side, and like what he did is like such a, he cares more about football than anything else, and that's what's important to fans. And I respect that 100%. But you also have to understand from a business perspective, it might not necessarily been as advantageous to sign that document from a strictly protecting somebody position. Does that make sense?
So why is that document so different than ones that other guys signed in the league? I didn't mean to cut you off there, Ron.
You're good.
But like other guys around the league sign these and get to work all the time.
No, you're good, Zach. You're good.
Am I cutting out?
No, Zach, you're good.
Okay.
So the question here is, Shemar wants to be on the field, right? I think it's dishonest. It's dishonest to say that we're looking at it simply from a fan's base, like a fan's perspective. Because at the end of the day, yeah, we're fans, but that's not true, right? We've taken an educational look on it. Are we in the room with you when this shit's happening? No, got it, understood. But why was this language that didn't mess with his money or anything like that big of a deal for him to get to practice?
Because it can mess with your money, and then an agent's job is to protect their player. So yes,
understood.
Abdul Carter has the same exact language, 100%. He's the 3rd overall pick. Okay, I don't represent Abdul Carter. Okay, but Abdul Carter, I guess, was perfectly fine with his contract reading the same way as all the past Giants players, even though he was the 3rd overall pick. He didn't care to get anything different or anything more, right? But he earned, right? He didn't just luckily become the 3rd overall pick, right? He earned that by performing and then I guess meeting the right people when through the process that the Giants felt we're going to make this guy the 3rd overall pick. Now there's value in that, right? He's 3rd overall. That's important. So, again, right? He could have gotten something more and maybe it would have been better if he changed his language, right? But again, he might have just wanted to get on the football field, or maybe nobody even had this conversation with him. You guys understand that, like, an agent's job is to protect players and make sure that their business is handled?
Yeah, look. We're not dumb. We got that. Understood, 100%.
Okay, because sometimes...
But the thing is here is if the language is in these other contracts and it doesn't directly impact his money unless something that he can control the player happens, he's
Do either of you have kids? Do either of you have kids?
Yeah. What does that have to do with this?
Do you have a life insurance policy?
Mm-hmm.
Why do you pay for it?
I mean, I think
that's death.
Yeah.
Because you might die, right? You're not dying as we're talking, but you could die, right? Is why you're paying for that, correct?
But so the money
I don't
is
see the
what
correlation.
made this. I don't think I do either. But so the money at the end of the day is what made this happen, right? So you wanted more money up front, and then he would be okay with this language in his contract. Now that money was coming to him, right?
Because you want to get on the football field, so you want to play on the football field, right? But at the same time, you want to obviously handle good business, and good business is a negotiation. So yes, you can point to all these other players, right, on other teams, okay? But when you look in that locker room, right, who I have to go to battle with, they were not asked of this as well. So that's where it becomes, okay, you do want something, right? And since it's a negotiation, we will all respect business, right? Maybe we should work something out that, we get something as well. And that way it's explainable that, hey, okay, I did this for you, you did this for me, everyone's happy. That's just good business. That's just good business.
It took from draft time to recently to get them to bump $500,000 of a signing bonus he was going to get anyway.
I
mean,
took again,
the Bengals
right?
That long?
All I can tell you is, Shemar. All Shemar wants to do is play football, and show the fan base that you got an absolute dog. Absolute dog.
I get that.
We want him on the field.
Did any of the pressure from the media world push this along on either side? Because
I don't know.
YouTube videos
definitely not.
Extorting
not on our
TikTok
side.
rappers and all kinds of stuff coming out. Was there any pressure?
Zero.
Were you extorting TikTok rappers for $300,000?
No.
That's what the internet's telling me.
The internet's been a mess.
Look. No, there was no pressure on our side at all in that front. Shemar wanted to get on the football field. All he wants to do is perform for you guys and show you that you got an absolute dog. And he loves Cincinnati. Like he said the other day, there was no real, I'm going back to college. Now, did he have that option? Yeah, he had that option because, again, right, he didn't sign the participation agreement, which is essentially a waiver that says, hey, you're now an employee of the team, but we're not going to pay you, right? So, again, I don't know why
he would have had to go to
signs
court with the NCAA. He couldn't just walk back into Texas A&M, right?
It was still a possibility. Nobody else had it. So as an agent, right, my job is to protect the player and give him all the options that he could possibly have, right? So, again, that was just an option on the table. Is that leverage? Who knows? That we didn't look at it. I mean, you didn't look at it like that, but it was an option. He never was actually going to do that. All he wanted to do was play for Cincinnati. From the day he got drafted, we wanted to get the contract done the day he got drafted. I can tell you that.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
No, I agree with that. I'm just saying he wants to get on the football field, and I get that. But so there was no other concession made up until the signing bonus got moved up. The Bengals didn't offer anything else until a few days ago.
Look, when he signed the contract is when the contract was ready.
So they did, but they hadn't offered you anything until that point, or anything that was worthy of,
I can tell you that
the concession.
what I can tell you is that Shemar wanted to get on the football field as soon as possible. That's what I can tell you.
At the end of the day, though, he missed valuable time. I mean, was all this worth it over that language in your guys' eyes? Like, because again, from our perspective, we didn't understand.
You're never going to understand it because, again, right? You're asking a guy who worked his entire life to get this opportunity. It wasn't luck. He worked and made every right decision. He woke up, just like you said, the first day of practice, he woke up 5:30 in the morning. He was in there studying the plays to make sure he was caught up, right? So now you get here, right? You get here, right? Okay. All you want is respect. That's it. You want respect. You want to be respected. You just want respect. You want good business.
No, I don't think that. I don't think that anybody has ill will towards Shemar Stewart. What's honestly been questioned through all this whole thing is the representation he's getting and the advice he's getting. You saw the Duke Tobin quote, and I don't think that that's above Duke Tobin's pay grade. I think Duke Tobin knows exactly what's going on. But we're looking at what's in NFL terms a relatively small concession and lots of misdevelopment for a guy who has low college production.
When you create a narrative that he's getting bad advice, and rather than just speaking facts, which was what I was more than happy to do at any point in time, it kind of should tell you who might have been right and wrong in the situation. And I appreciate the Bengals front office. I have the utmost respect for them. And again, right, the scouting department made the right pick. And everyone that was a part of that pick made the right pick with Shemar. So I do have the utmost respect for them.
Okay,
but it was so public, so quick. Stewart's like they're more worried about winning arguments than football games. Like, how did it go from we're happy to be here, we want to get on the football field, then we're leaving OTAs, and this very public what felt like bashing. I
think I saw something about how we ESPN 1350 or whatever owes us because everyone got to make content all summer about this. Again, right? Things get blown out of proportions by, for the content, reasons of.
Well, it's not about content. We all watch the guy say it.
Yeah, I don't. Honest to God, I don't think anything. I think that it was misreported, and twisted. There was a lot of that going on, and all three of us would be ignorant not to say that. But this was a big deal. I mean, a rookie coming in, needing reps, needing mental reps, needing all this stuff.
Everything you're saying,
wasn't there.
100%. Everything you're saying, when I keep telling you, is that you look from one perspective. That is the leverage that these businesses use. And it's exactly what a guy is supposed to want to do, right? A guy's love for football and the fact that these guys want to be on the football field and they want to go to work and they want to play gets used against them. And nobody ever points that out on your guy's side.
So explain the comments then, right? So it was a bold comment, right? They want to win an argument, not football games. A guy coming in who we all hope is successful. So please don't take anything we're saying here as Shemar bashing. We watched him out there hitting the pads. Dude looks like a stud, excited he's here. But when a young player comes into a locker room like that and immediately starts talking that way, where's the mindset in your camp? Did that come from you guys speaking, hey, this is going to be our message, this is how we're going to handle it? Or was Shemar just speaking from his heart?
Look, I think, again, right, I think he was in a situation in front of the media, right, and in the locker room, and he spoke how he felt the process had been going. He made sure that, again, right, it's part of the business. That's the whole point. Everything that goes on is part of the business, okay?
Understand.
And then you move on. And you try to just do good business. And that's why, again, I have the utmost respect for the Bengals front office, and we got the deal done, and it was great. And I look forward to Shemar being an absolute superstar for you guys and doing great business with them for many years to come. That's all we want.
So what's your message?
We want him to match the physical profile and turn into Myles Garrett. That's what we want. Business is business. Bigger, faster. We weren't even gonna
bigger, faster. Myles Garrett. That's what you have.
I mean, maybe, but
we'll see. Yeah.
What I'm saying is, it's like, okay, let's put this to bed. Let's go. But
We did.
And that's fine. That's the mindset that I choose to do. But like we get a text from you like, okay, let's do it this week. And like, I didn't reply quick. You're like, you scared to chop? I'm not scared to chop it up. I thought it was flip the bed too. Cause now I just want 97 to go out there and get 20 sacks this year, but it doesn't 100%. Feel like you can say he wanted to get on the field and I get that, but like, this is a very small concession by the front office. And it just feels like something
you haven't said once. Wait, you haven't said yes, and all the energy and frustrations are aimed at the player as if he was lucky to have this opportunity. That's what I'm saying. You've never once said, or no one's ever been like, are we sure that they like? How do we know they weren't offered anything and it took this long? Like, no, everything's pointed at the players. The players are just lucky, and the players should just do what they're supposed to, and they should be thankful and take what they're offered. And like, that's not good business.
Yeah. So, well, again, I think it's dishonest to say that about. I mean, we're players, guys. We really are. We have our qualms with the front office a lot, right? There's another situation happening right now that's a total pain in the ass and sucks and should have been dealt with. But, however, right? What is your message to the fan base right now as his representation? And I'm not asking you to speak to the front office. I know you have directly, but what is your message to the fan base now that this very ugly public situation occurred and people are worried that it's going to be a thorn in the side for a little while? What's your message to the fan base?
A thorn for what?
What's your message to the fan base?
You got an absolute superstar, and you can only look forward to the next negotiation because that means he did everything that I know he's going to do and you guys know he's going to do.
Okay.
That's all.
Well, all right. It's not like it's not about the next negotiation. This is myself, Ron. Like, there's nobody that's afraid to call out the Bengals front office. Like we've done it on numerous occasions. I know what it is, but like he is absolutely lucky to be in the NFL. Anybody in the NFL is lucky.
Also, I just want to be clear, right? When I brought up the life insurance, correct? You make those payments because of what if, right? It's what if happened to me, correct?
Sure, but I don't see the correlation.
That's the scenario. You're doing something.
Our death is out of our control. Our death is out of our control. The clause in the contract was a very controllable situation.
No, the only controllable. Wait. That's where you're wrong. The only controllable thing is trying to control that it's not in your contract. That is what I'm saying. That is in your control. No, it's controlling the fact that that clause is not in the contract. So my job as an agent is to take in that what if. Just like you pay life insurance, because what if you die tomorrow, right? My job is what if something happened?
I see.
Isn't this about going to jail and getting suspended? It's not injury. It's like, hey, if he robs a fucking bank and goes to jail, we're going to void his guarantee.
No, it's conduct. Wait, look, you guys can go online. You can read the exact legalese that each team. Yes, every team has different wording and whatnot. Yes, but there's things that happen. Like there's, and again, my job is the what ifs. That's it. And then again, right? Why do the teams have to put this contract? Why do they even need these clauses? Why do they need any protections? Just give all the guys millions of dollars, right? Why does nobody ever say that?
Well, business.
Because that's bad business.
It's a business, right?
Wait. Baseball, I can sign a 10-year contract. $800 million, I can strike out every time. You can't get a single dollar back.
That's just not the reality we live in.
Yeah, and there's no salary cap in baseball.
Yeah,
I'm just saying that sometimes, again, right?
I see where you're aiming.
It's a business. The players need protection. That's what I'm saying.
No, Zach, I see where you're aiming. I just think I don't agree with it, and that's okay. People just don't agree, right?
Of course.
You're 100%. Your job is to protect the player. I don't know that we thought that this was a necessary battle to be fought. You guys clearly did, which it's your prerogative. And that's why we had you on the show here. We wanted to know what the hell was going on.
Have you? So okay. So did you ever say once, why is it so necessary for them to start the battle? Had that ever come up?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. Initially, when we thought it was about money and all that, we were discussing. But then when you really read into it, it's like, okay, this seems like boilerplate stuff, right? I don't. If I go to work tomorrow and somehow I do something unbecoming at the office, they're gonna fire my ass. So that's where my head's at. I did not see this language as a clause that needed this epic battle to be fought over it.
It goes back to just doing good business. That's all. And again, like I said, everything is great now. Everyone's excited. Everyone's ready to go, and that's all that matters. That's all that matters. You put it behind you, and you get going.
I hope he gets 20 sacks this year. I don't feel like we've gotten any answers really to anything. But, I mean, I'm glad you got to speak your piece, but let's hope 97 gets 20 sacks this year.
100%.
Yeah, I got to go back to dinner, but I can if I didn't answer any questions, then I don't know which ones I missed out on. I'm not gonna. There's no, again, I have the utmost respect for the Bengals, the fans, everybody, and we just can't wait, for the season to start, and hopefully you guys can really bring it home, because you definitely got an absolute dog in 97.
Yep.
No ill will toward 97. He's got stripes on his helmet. He's my guy. Enjoy your dinner.
100%.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh my God.
I don't know that anything got solved.
That guy sucks.
I don't know that anything got solved there, man.
No filter needed. Beers getting deleted. It's the Cincy Unfiltered show. Let's go.